Upgrade to Shore non-stop protection.
Let's go live to Gail Davis, though, first of all, in Sydney. And Gail, after a wonderful fairy tale of a summer this end, a winter your end, what is the overall conclusion from that? Positives to take, but a severe dejection for England.
Yeah, really, really flat and disappointed fans coming out. But all of the ones we've spoken to felt that it had been an amazing few weeks. I think if everybody was honest, no one really expected England to be here. They came into this competition with so many injuries and retirements and not on incredible form. So to be here, they're very, very proud of what their side has achieved. Saying that, when you come to a World Cup final, you want to win it, don't you? And England totally outplayed in that first half, going a goal down after a Lucy Bronze mistake in midfield. Sarina Wiegman, we've talked about how brave and bold she's been during this World Cup. She made those changes at half-time. On came Lauren James, on came Chloe Kelly, changed that system to try and protect that midfield where England were being totally overrun. And then we had the Kira Walsh handball and the stadium held its breath. Mary Earps, who's been absolutely magnificent during this tournament, saving that penalty. And at that point, I think England fans, having sat through so many games where they've gone behind, where things have been against them, certainly the people around me kept saying it's okay, and Sarina, we trust. We've got the players to come back. Up went Millie Bright up front, as she did against Spain in the quarterfinals. But this time England couldn't find that goal, and it just felt like a game too much for them. And for Spain, I mean, the celebrations were huge at the end. We know they came into this tournament under a bit of a cloud. Behind the scenes, there are various players. Not there, some are there. Well, the ones that turned up today were absolutely magnificent, technically brilliant. And it is them that lift their first World Cup. And for England, I think the fans will go home. They've enjoyed the adventure. They've enjoyed the past few weeks in Australia. And they say next time it's coming home, because this time England came up just short.
Absolutely, Gail. And did the fans give a sense that they were frustrated, maybe that England couldn't get that head of steam just because Spain got the goal and then was so good with the ball?
I think with England fans, what they've come to expect is that England have produced, you know, a game, a plan A, a plan B, a plan C. And Sarina is tactically very, very good. And I think if you think back to the beginning of the second half, when she'd made those changes, Chloe Kelly, there was certainly some space to be exploited, wasn't there? Down her side on the right, she put in that wonderful cross, and Hemp's ball just went wide. And I think at that point you thought, OK, this is good. What Sarina's done has worked. Lauren James couldn't really get herself into the game in the way that many had hoped. Alessia Russo was taken off at half-time. Rachel Daly taken off. She looked like she was carrying an injury. I think Lucy Bronze is carrying a bit of an injury as well. And I think because there were so many key personnel that were missing going into this, I think Sarina's had to play a lot of the same players a lot of the time. And I just think they just run out of steam. They just lacked that cutting edge, didn't they, today, that England, you know, have so often come out with. At some point, that little bit of luck goes, doesn't it? You really don't want it to happen on such a big occasion. But Sarina's magic didn't quite, the magic stardust didn't quite work today. And yeah, it's just a huge opportunity miss when you think about the teams that haven't made it to this point, the likes of Germany and the USA, because they'll be back stronger as well. And I think England really felt that they had a head of steam, that there was a huge amount of momentum behind them. But as a lot of people have said to us all week, Spain, technically very, very gifted, and they're playing for a huge amount because of all that sort of siege mentality that's going on within their squad. And, you know, that they will be absolutely delighted to come away and lift that trophy.
Absolutely. We're seeing scenes in the stadium, Gail, as we're speaking here. Aitana Bonmati has won the Golden Ball Women's Player of the tournament, but Mary Earps with the Golden Gloves, just how impressive has she been and today and throughout the tournament? Is this a superstar now in British sport?
I think I spoke to Mark Schwarzer before the game, and he knows a fair bit about goalkeeping, doesn't he? He said, you know, she's absolutely the best. She was FIFA's #1, remember. And if you think back to the Haiti game, you know, she didn't have very much to do all day, but she pulled off an absolutely fantastic save. You think about some of the key saves she's made throughout this competition, the penalty shootout against Nigeria. Her reputation now is that she's so good in that position. You could almost see the doubt as Spain went to go and take that penalty. It took a very, very long time. Earps makes herself exceptionally big, doesn't she? And then she's, you know, pulled off another couple of saves as well. She's one of these players that she might not have much to do, but when she does, she comes up with the goods. There is a slight caveat to that today. There is that thought that just perhaps she might have done a little bit better with Spain's goal. But, and it's a big but, she has done so much good this tournament for England that I'm not surprised she ends up with the Golden Gloves. I just wonder if she ends up with a goalkeeper jersey as well, because we do know that Nike, the main sponsors, still, despite a petition that had hit about 50,000, not making replica goalkeeper shirts.
Yeah, it's a controversial call and probably one that missed out on a lot of profit at the moment, given her fame around the country. What about Sarina Wiegman? Give us a read on that. She's had 4 straight tournaments. It's her first competitive loss as England manager. You've been speaking to her a lot. Any doubts that she's going to stay on? We say she's recommitted to that 2025 date, but presumably she's going to be a woman in attraction, isn't she, for a lot of clubs, men, women, and national teams. A new deal, surely, for England.
Yeah, I'm going to go and speak to her hopefully in the press conference in the next few minutes. I mean, she's been absolutely magnificent throughout the last few weeks. And, you know, we talked a lot about this serenity and calmness that she brings. And, OK, England came up short today, and nobody will hate that more than her. But what she's done with this England team in the last sort of 18 months or so is pretty extraordinary. She took a team and won the Euros. She's then had to rebuild this team almost week in, week out during this tournament, because she came in and by her own admission, she said she can't remember having to deal with so many challenges. So she's rebuilt that team there, and she will have the hunger to go again. I think she's such an impressive coach. She's got a real warmth about her, but there is that element of no nonsense as well. And I think she lets the players express themselves, be themselves. And she was talking, because the Gareth Southgate question came up this week. She says, I'm really, really happy in my job. She says, I think people quite like me and they seem to think I'm doing a good job. So, yeah, I'm going to stay. And it's kind of sometimes as simple as that in Sarina's world. I think she will feel there's a little bit of unfinished business for this team. And if you look at this team, not many people are going to be moving on. There's still a really, really young team. So she'll look at that and think that she can probably build into the next Euros, into the next World Cup. And really interesting, because it's the Olympics next year as well. And Team GB will have a team. We don't know who's going to take that yet. And you'd expect a number of those England players to be involved. So maybe a little redemption for some of them sooner than the Euros or the next World Cup.
Absolutely. Sarina Wiegman may get a call for that as well. Gail, Beth Mead and co will be back as well for the next tournaments. Thank you very much, Gail, for now.